Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CRMA video session 184. So basically in today's video, we will actually try to understand, I mean, we will do a basically complete revision of the filter logic, which we actually do on the dataset side. So it will be a complete revision. I will just help you to walk through whatever we have covered till now. As I mentioned that it might be a completely easy topic for many of you, but again, a few of you might find it a bit disturbing, a bit stressful. So that's why I have just ensured that this can be understood by you through visual representation. And also this kind of things are very important from understanding client's requirement, because sometimes such kind of requirement comes up where the client wants this kind of things to happen, to wants to see that on the data set, on the dashboard side, or on the lens side. So you have to be very careful on how you map it. Okay, so that's why I've covered this topic. It can be covered for more than three variables also, like I covered with ABC, and mention the D part, but I'm not covering the D part as it will make a bit difficult to grasp it maybe, and it will be a bit difficult for me also to explain you when it comes to four parts. But yeah, the concept still remains the same. You can still go through that concept. So firstly, the first thing is you have to understand this and or what exactly it means. Okay, so by just taking two variables, for example, if I take industry and account type, if these two I take, you understand that and is something which will be common. That means if I query where industry equal to agriculture and account type equal to partner on the dataset side, basically it will fetch me those records which will have industry and partner for sure. Okay, industry and partner has to be there when it comes to an or means basically everything will be covered. Like this portion will be there. I will have those records which will have that industry, agriculture and partner. But other than that, I can have all those records where industry will be agriculture, and the account type can be customer. Since we have only two, partner and customer, and account type in this case, I'm just saying customer, but basically it means any other values other than partner. Okay. Similarly, when this B portion comes, it's like I can have any, like I will have those records where account type will be partner, industry can be anything, it can be media, whatever other industry you have other than agriculture. So that's the whole meaning of this first part, the basic part. Now, when you come to three part, so basically, let's say if I take the account source, again, if I go for A and B and C, it again means the common portion. Okay, which means I will get only those records if I apply this condition 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, because that's how it's being, like I am explaining with the help of ABC, but when you go to the data set, it's like 1 and 2 and 3, in that way it's being done. So basically I will get those records where my industry will be agriculture, account type will be partner, and my account source will be web. Okay, now what happens when you go for A or B or C? It's like everything is covered. Like of course this portion will be there, I will have those records where I will, where the agriculture will be industry, partner will be account type will be partner, account source will be there, as well as I will have other parts as well. I mean, other parts as well, which you can see where it means I will have the common portion. Like I will have those records where partner will be there, web will be there, industry can be anything. I will have those records where agriculture will be there, web will be there, but the account type can be anything, as well as I will have those records where agriculture will be there, partner will be there, but the account source can be anything. And there's one more where partner will be there, but agriculture can be anything. Okay. So these are the way it's being considered. It has to be done. As well as I will have those conditions where I will only have agriculture, but the type and source can be anything. The type can be customer, account source can be something else, right? Referral or something. As well as if you see this particular portion, if you see my cursor, this particular portion means the partner will be there. Industry can be anything, account source can be anything, doesn't matter. Now this means the account source will be web, but industry can be anything, partner can be anything. So that's how you have to think about. That's how you have to visualize and understand. This is the very basic one. That's why I covered that first topic. Okay, because this one, if you understand after that, if you go for different kind of variation, like in bracket A and B or C, or A and in bracket B or C, you will be able to understand that. But this is the very basic thing. And definitely what I want you to do is, maybe this is something you can do on the SQL side also. So I have done it on the data set, but you can try on the SQL side as well. In that way also you can learn, or you can directly do it on the data set to understand what kind of records you will get actually. Okay, you need to visualize and understand that part. Now once this is completely understood by you, and then comes the next portion where we got into a bit of complexity, where we are just understanding how we have applied this bracket. So for example, when you are applying this bracket A and B, right? So whichever is there on the bracket or whichever there is on the parenthesis, you need to solve that part. Okay. It's the way it is. Like basically, for example, in bracket, in the parenthesis, you have that A and B. So first of all, in the Venn diagram, I will just be bothered about the A and B. Okay. That's the thing. And one more thing is here you have to visualize like how is the common, how to get into the common junction when you are having three. Like with two, I know it's easily understandable. This is the common junction. But when it comes to three, you see this, if you see my cursor, this is the portion where three are getting common, right? Three are getting common. Now, if you see my cursor once again, this portion, right? So this particular portion, if you see, this portion is the one where A and C are common. Okay, that is something also you need to understand. Maybe I can very quickly do explain this part to you. Oh, sorry, I opened the wrong one. Yeah. So let's say I have this A, B, and I have this C. Okay, so let me just write this text very quickly. So it's like A. Okay, it's like B. It's like C. Now, let's say I ask you the question. Okay, just show me those in the diagram. Just show me those portion which is a common junction of A and B. Okay, so the common junction of A and B. How will you show it? It's basically this portion, as you can see, because this portion the C is excluded, right? The C, if you see, it's not coming over there, and from B and to this portion is there when you have three. So that's the common junction between A and B. Okay, now similarly, if I ask you what is the common junction between A and C, it's basically this portion, right? As you can see, this B is completely excluded. Similarly, what is the common junction between B and C? It's particularly this one. And of course, over there, I have just mentioned what is A, B, and C. But I hope this is the way you need to imagine and understand this part. Now, with A and B, of course, this A and B portion will be covered. Okay, A and B portion is like this particular thing. If you see my cursor, this particular portion, and after that or C, you have to cover all the part of C. Okay, that's the meaning of or C. When it comes to A or B, again, A or B means I would have covered, A or B means I would have covered this whole thing, right? I will have covered this whole thing. But the problem is, and C is mentioned. Now you have to take the common one. So the common one will be this portion only, which is coming up with C. Okay, that's how it is. I have shown you with a combination of yellow and red. You can use two colors to understand, but this is the final one at the end of the day. Then you have something like, again, I will solve this B or C portion. So again, B and or C whole portion will be covered. But again, because of this A and I will take the common portion out of those, which is having with A. Okay. Similarly, A or B and C, first of all, B and C is nothing but this particular portion, right? Sorry, yeah, this particular portion, if you see my cursor, this particular portion is B and C, but after that it's A or, so whatever other portions are left with A, that will be covered. That's how this thing is there. And that's the way you need to understand, that's the way you need to imagine. And also you need to remember when it comes to a simple operation, right? When it comes to a simple operation like A and B and C, you don't need any parentheses. So we already walked it through. So when you're applying a filter logic, something like this, it's like one or two or three. Now you can definitely give the bracket as well, but at the end of the day, it won't matter. Okay. So I mean, if you even if you give the bracket, it doesn't matter if you are just using one of the operators like either and or okay, that will not matter. So in that case, without parentheses, that can be done. Similarly, if you want to go for and, you can write that as well, and you can just go ahead without any parentheses. But when it comes to a combination, you have to remember that you have to definitely give parentheses, otherwise it won't work out. That's not the way it works out on the Salesforce CRMA side. You positively have to give it. Okay, so for example, if I just remove the parentheses, automatically the Einstein won't be able to understand how to compare the logic. Okay, so that is something which you have to definitely keep in mind as well. Okay, so this is the complete thing. I hope you understood, starting from what exactly the in the Venn diagram it means, and you need to understand like what are the records. This is some common example I've taken related to this field. You can try with any other object and you can do that. In case you find it a bit difficult to understand this thing, I would suggest this is the way you can go about. And from here, it can be I have done it for three, it can be more than three as well. Okay, that's for sure. So for example, but in that case, you need to just understand what is that commonality. Just for an example, and I will leave it over there. I won't go through complete this part. I don't explain the complete thing, but let's say I have this A. Okay, drawing is a important part over here. Again, I have this B. Okay, now let's say I am going for C as well. Okay, this is the C, right? And let's say I will go for D as well. Okay, so okay, that's the thing. Now, yeah, let's say I went for this D. Okay, now here, of course, we understand this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Okay, now, depending upon how you want to bring it, you can bring that below, but you need to understand what is the commonality. Okay, let's say, for example, okay, and I will leave it over there. Let's say what is the common. So we have this A, B, C, and D. What is the common portion between A and B? So in that case, this has to be this one, right? Let's understand. Now, what is the common portion between A and C? It has to be this one, right? You have to be very careful over here because if you color this one, that's not the one because D is also coming over there. Okay, that's what you need to understand. So that is very important. And similarly, if you are like, what is common between C and D? Basically, it has to be only this one, isn't it? You cannot color this portion because there the A and B is also coming into picture. Okay, then what is that portion, like what is that commonality between A, B, C, D? What is that common portion between A, B, C, D? That's very simple. It will always be the middle one. Okay, this is covering the B portion, is covering the A, C as well as the D portion, right? That's the common thing. Okay, now with three, what's also important is to understand, like, let's say what is the common portion between A, B, C. Let's say if I just say you, what is the common portion between A, B, C? So in that case, the common portion between A, B, C will be no, not this one. I'm sorry, not this one. Okay, so you have the B, the common portion between A, B, and C has to be 1 minute. I think there's no common portion between A, B, and C over here. Okay, that's what I see. Yeah, yeah, the common portion is now which will be excluding D. That's not there actually. Now let's say what is the and let's say what is the common portion between. So let's say if I color this portion, so what is that? This is like more of a B and D, right? This is the common portion of B and D. And let's say if I color this one. So what is this about? This is more like B, C, and D, isn't it? This is more like B, C, and D. Okay, that's how things are. So in this way, you have to actually check out. So this is like B, C, and D, isn't it? So B portion is there, D portion is there, as well as C portion is there. A portion is not there if you see, isn't it? Now, if I color this one, now what this is about? This is about like the C part is there. Okay, I have the A part as well as D part. Okay, so ACD, this is more like ACD. Fine. Similarly, if I go for this one, this is more like ABD, isn't it? ABD. So ABC won't be possible because after B you have the D part. Okay, so ABC won't be possible in that manner. But you know what is the common portion between ABD? What is the common portion between BAC? What is the common portion between BD? So it has to be continuous. Okay, so it's like ABC cannot be in that manner. Fine. So in that way you have to check, and I think probably BAC is also will be possible. Yeah, if you want to find that common portion between BAC, I think it has to be somewhere around here, I guess. Okay, the BAC portion. So you have the B, you have the C over here. Okay, you have the B, you have the C, but the D part is also coming. I think I have to probably make this diagram a bit more carefully to ensure we get the BAC. But yeah, I hope you understand the context. So you have to properly ensure the diagram is made and you have to know what is the common function, and then you can go for a map A or B or C or D, or something. You can put the pencils anywhere and you can understand that complexity related to and order. Okay, so yeah, that is all about this video. I hope this complete topic, this complete concept is clear to you all. And yeah, let's meet very soon in our next one. Thank you.